As John Hagar grew up in East Aurora listening to KB, he always knew he wanted to work in radio. He graduated from East Aurora High School and Ashland University in Ohio. After graduating from Ashland with a degree in radio and television, John was hired as the program director and morning host at WCJW AM in Warsaw, also working weekends at the beautiful music format at WJYE FM in Buffalo. In the fall of 1981, while still at WCJW, John was hired by WPHD FM as an on-air weekend host and eventually moved to 97 Rock.
Since 1980, I believe, was the first time I met John Hagar working at 425 Franklin Street when Franklin Street was Radio Row. Remember that? In the little mansions down there?
A lot of people know John was a math major before he got into media, but he only can count to 500. That's why we still have the same 500 songs for these last 30 years.
I first met John when he was a weekend announcer at WPHD in the early 1980s. And I remember it didn't take too many listens to John to realize this guy had it. A couple of years after that, John and I became competitors. We were programming two different radio stations here in the market. And then a couple of years after that, John asked me to join his team on 97 Rock. His calm blue water approach to all the different personalities he has to juggle is truly a gift.
In 1983, he was promoted to full-time on-air personality at 97 Rock, first as an overnight talent and then an afternoon drive.
John Hagar, the only member of the Hall of Fame that still has an overnight shift. You must be very proud taking an intern's job.
After the station abruptly changed formats in January of 1985, John was hired as an on-air talent and research director at WCMF FM in Rochester. 1 year later, he accepted the program director and afternoon host positions at WPHD FM.
John has been the steward of rock and roll in Buffalo for over 30 years, since the first time he put 97 Rock on the air on WPHD on April Fool's Day in 1988. And somehow that summer, Riches decided to put 97 Rock back. He reassembled Norton, Russo, Tiberi, brought in Anita West, and some young concert promoter named Don Tomasulo to be sales manager. The rest is history. John, through Mercury, through Riches, Mercury, Citadel, and Cumulus, he's kept 97 Rock at the top of the charts for 30 years. Same 500 songs, but still on top of the charts.
What John does is pretty much the benchmark for the rest of the country in terms of that format. And the fact that he's been able to survive the many different ownership changes and things that have gone on in our industry and still be there is absolutely a tribute to him.
Hey, congratulations, CPAP. That's John's nickname. We call him CPAP. You'll find out why during his acceptance speech.
97 Rock actually returned to the airways with great fanfare in September of 1988, and Hagar has served as its PD without interruption for the past 30 years. During that time, he's overseen the creation of many of the station's and Buffalo's iconic promotions.
I first met John in 1991 when Rich Communications threw us together with the first Top 50 Market LMA of the Fox and 97 Rock, and I quickly found out that John was a man of very few words but very big actions. He knew his product cold. He had a passion for music that burned inside of him that most people wear on their sleeves, but John let come through the speakers of Western New York radios.
You may not know this, but John Hagar, huge Bruce Springsteen fan. I think he saw him 120 times, which is weird because that's the same number of times that we played REO's Speedwagon last week.
Congratulations on your induction to the Hall of Fame. 30 years of being at the top of the charts. You totally deserved it. Congratulations.
John, I've said this to you face to face, but I'm happy to say it in front of our peers. You are now walking with the elite of Buffalo broadcasters as you should have been for many, many years. Congratulations, John.
The board asked me to say a couple of funny lines, but I had some great stuff written. I gave it all to Rob Lieberman. So what I will say is congratulations to the class of 2018. In particular, congratulations to my boss, my friend, John Hagar. It's about time.
John, I couldn't be more proud. Seriously, you have employed me 28 years ago, and it's rare that we get to be able to acknowledge all of the hard work that you've done. I mean, you deal with such huge egos and people that just think about themselves all the time. And I just want to let you know, what the?
Congratulations, John. We've been through a lot together. Welcome home to the Hall of Fame.
The Buffalo Broadcasters Association is proud to induct John Hagar into the 2018 class of the Hall of Fame.